Hello, I'm Nancy Sutherland. Achieving sales for a business is the true job or role of a salesperson. Yet this can prove tantamount, particularly with a non-buying consumer or business in a sluggish economy. Know that marketing's intent is to produce gross sales of a business. This has been what has been most on my mind for a while. Yet perhaps there has been no more difficult time in selling than now, when many consumers and or businesses are not buying. The economy has changed the rules. Further, there can also be a wrestle in the mind of the salesperson as he or she walks away from the call, pondering the keeping and continuing the relationship or discontinuing the relationship, considering there is only a finite amount of time allotted in a week. This can be a mental stressor during one's day because the job's role is to deliver sales. Many conversations, words are uttered, yet the immediacy of a sale may not be there. As I have discussed, the salesperson must be conversationally bent, yet not all conversations yield a sale the immediate moment that your words are uttered. This can be disheartening, yet perseverance must prevail. You must make yourself stand out in the selling process. This is self-marketing, i.e. personal selling. Similarly, the current marketplace demands the differentiation of products, which at most moments is done only through the professional salesperson. The plethora of products that are nearly indistinguishable are made distinguishable with the personal selling of the successful salesperson. Reflecting introspectively upon this statement, major brand loyalty is typically reached by the continual due diligence of the professional salesperson. In fact, one can begin as a novice salesperson with intentionality to grow in the ability to secure business and have great potential for a future. In fact, some businesses utilize the term business development with the title of directorship, i.e. Director of Business Development. Business development is the activity of pursuing strategic opportunities for a particular business or organization. For example, by cultivating partnerships or other commercial relationships or identifying new markets for its products or services. Note this definition distinctly discusses partnerships, relationships, even including the word cultivation, as all are done over time. I really want you to capture that business development is done through relationships. The relationships can never be secondary and must always be primary for long-term sustainability. Thus, how does one decide who to call upon for their product selling responsibility? This will, at times, encompass the work of prospecting. New customers must be found to replace those who switch to competitors, those that stop doing business for reason of bankruptcy, etc., those that move out of your territory or decide they can do without your product or service. These reasons for attrition of those that have used your product and now don't support more the need for relationship preservation, since buying typically is done out of a relationship. Further, know that prospecting takes extensive time and money to discern the true potentiality of a viable need or use of your product. Not all individuals, businesses that you perceive as a lead may or may not turn out to be a good prospect. The more developed, advanced a business in an industry or established in the nuances of marketing, the greater provision to a salesperson, the territory list of contacts or the prospects who need your product. That is customary in pharmaceutical sales or medical sales. When the prospecting is done for you, the decision of who to pursue for business is easier. In the pharmaceutical industry, a product launch will be detailed to the physicians, specialists, family nurse practitioners, and nurse practitioners who see patients with the diagnosis that the pharmaceutical treats. For example, if you have responsibility selling a hypertensive, your prospect list, call list, will be the family practice, internal medicine, and typically some cardiologists. You will not call on general surgeons or pediatricians for your hypertensive per se. As stated in prior lectures, as a salesperson, you must have acute product knowledge, thereby understanding who does or who does not have a need for your product. The prospect must want or need your product or service for them to be a prospect, as cited by saying a general surgeon will not have a need for a hypertensive. The prospect should also have the ability to pay. It does no good for you to sell your product and have it delivered without payment to your employer. Thus, a good prospect has the ability and resources to pay. I really want you to grasp that ensuring the cash flow and profitability of a business is no small order. This is your role as a salesperson or someone tasked with business development. In fact, some businesses without an established sales force will never have a chance for sustainability. Your time in prospecting is money that is spent to attempt to establish relationships that will ensure further dollars of product sales. Therefore, I say again that you matter and provide the product differentiation in a sea of products. You can capitalize on relationship building to build your business, its selling building partnerships. So what do you do if you do not have a laptop or tablet with your customer database of those to see readily available? You must determine who to invest your time and seek to establish a relationship. As I stated, there is only so much time in the week. Thus, you must become excellent at prospecting, meaning locating potential customers for a product or service. Prospecting methods in each situation are not those that supply the largest number of leads, recognizing that not all leads turn into a prospect. The best method for prospecting for you would be the one that supplies the largest number of sales and profits. Let us develop a prospecting strategy for selling carpet cleaning services to businesses. We could ask current customers, satisfied customers if any, to identify prospects. We could ask a center of influence, like a secretary or office assistant, to identify people who often need cleaning services. We could also use promotional activities, like an ad in a magazine or trade publication. Another suitable option would be to go to trade shows to network for businesses. Lastly, an option would be to purchase a list of businesses from a list service supplier. Note again the time and money that it takes to try to discern the potential of a prospect for business. I have personal experience of doing a massive prospecting assignment before launch with Diprovan, an IV sedative hypnotic. The target for Diprovan was anesthesiologist and nurse anesthetist, as they deliver anesthesia to those individuals undergoing surgery in outpatient centers and hospital operating rooms. Corporate launch strategy was to only target those hospitals that did greater than 3,500 surgeries per year, as surgery count is the driver of the intravenous anesthesia use, meaning the more surgery potentials, the more the probable potential for the use of Diprovan. As far as prospecting for use, we targeted the largest hospitals for greater potential use and teaching hospitals because their use is an influence on others due to their anesthesia schools. Diprovan was positioned against inhalational anesthesia. Inhalational anesthesia was the standard of care. We were asking for displacement of the established routine anesthesia, delivery of pentothal at induction, meaning to put you under, and halothane as the inhalational maintenance of anesthesia, meaning all the time that the patient is in surgery or to keep you under while the surgery is done. I spent 6 months in prospecting all of my assigned hospitals, profiling anesthesiologists and nurse anesthetists, assessing their potential for intravenous anesthesia use. I learned who were the innovators and early adopters of the product adoption curve, and who were the laggards. This was a massive piece of work, all inclusive of my time with the product detailing of my cardiovascular products laid aside during this work. You must know that I acquired this information through building relationships. You must know that relationships are key to getting information. In this prospecting assignment, I nurtured the innovators. When I launched Diprovan, I utilized those developed innovators to form a trustful selling building partnership with a Diprovan clinical experience program. Clinical experience of a pharmaceutical post-launch is immeasurable in value, as this information can be used in future selling engagements as a feature benefit of marketplace patient experience post-FDA approval. The cost of this marketing endeavor was massive, as each physician was given copious milliliters of Diprovan and a syringe pump for administration of the intravenous anesthesia. Note again the time and money that it takes to prospect. My developed innovators were good prospects. With the clinical experience, they were transformed into product adopters. We knew as a company, if we could get the innovators using Diprovan, that they would continue use, as the recovery profile post-surgery was phenomenal, with an immediate recovery from anesthesia in wake-up and emergence, and a much reduced instance of nausea and vomiting. The recovery profile, coupled with less nausea and vomiting, attribute to cost savings and more brand loyalty from the patient, as they have a better surgery experience, resulting in them choosing that hospital again. Further, by capturing post-marketing clinical data per patient use, we had physicians with enough product experience that they could talk about their use. There is great power in word of mouth, as I now had physicians able to be product lecturers, proponents at dinner lectures. This results in a highly effective peer selling. I secured product adoption through fierce intentionality in building relationships. I further used multiple Diprovan clinical experience programs that other representatives stated that they could not place in my hospitals. I was given 18. I utilized 8 more. Please know that the reason a salesperson is employed is to bring in sales. I did just that. Over time, I nurtured others, and in time, even the laggards became users of Diprovan. We know that marketing's intent is to produce gross sales of a business. If major brand loyalty of a product is secured by personal selling, the same results can be had by making yourself distinguishable with a definitive self-marketing plan. When you prospect for a job that interests you, you must be skilled in transferring your value proposition to stated job requirements and needs. Thus, I'm providing a LinkedIn assignment. First, join LinkedIn and complete your profile. Then answer the following questions using the various job search tools available on LinkedIn. Prospect a job in medical sales and/or pharmaceutical sales or another professional sales position that interests you. Post the position, including the URL of the job posting, inside the sales job discussion board inside D2L. Briefly tell me about the opening. Identify one job requirement, as I provided in the discussion board and newsfeed with sales coaching. Discuss your personal value proposition as to how you can meet this job responsibility requirement. This assignment is intended to strengthen you to accomplish the capstone assignment of the video resume. You must be able to communicate your value, as this is key for your personal sustainability. I am Nancy Sutherland. I'm pleased to bring you this business content.